Okay, good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, I'm sorry. Um, I'm very happy to have you today. This is probably the third or the fourth session for Apatow. And our topic today is about AI. I'm sure that we can all agree that these are changing times and AI is transforming education in very different ways. Educational institutions are trying their very best to adapt to this very powerful phenomenon. And today's lecture, Mastering AI in Teaching and Learning, a hands-on exploration by Dr. Hady Hamdan, will be about how we can, in fact, adapt with AI and use it for our own benefit. Dr. Hady Hamdan is a linguistics scholar and lecturer at the University of Jordan, specializing in pragmatics. His expertise includes teaching courses on pragmatics, semantics, sociolinguistics, and academic writing. His research has appeared in well-regarded Scopus indexed Q1 and Q2 journals focusing on pragmatics and language use. As a peer reviewer for international journals, he actively contributes to academic discourse and quality assurance in research. In addition to his academic career, Dr. Hamdan is a skilled translator and proofreader with experience in consecutive and simultaneous interpretation. He also conducts workshops on IELTS preparation, professional communication, and research skills to support student and professional development. As a strong advocate for integrating innovation in education, Dr. Hamdan brings both linguistic insight and practical experience to today's talk on mastering AI in teaching and learning, exploring how educators can leverage artificial intelligence to enhance student engagement, personalize instruction, and shape the future of education. Dr. Hady, we are very happy to have you with us today. You have 30 minutes, and then after your talk, we can take questions if there are any. Thank you.
Can I say a few words?
Sure.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. As President of Apatow, I am very pleased to welcome you all to this special session of our academic forum. Thank you for joining us. It's my great pleasure and personal joy to welcome today's speaker, Dr. Hady Hamdan from the University of Jordan, who also happens to be my son. I'd like to share a small reflection. During his PhD studies, Hady was once a student of mine. I used to lecture, and he would sit and listen, absorbing and reflecting. We were in the same classroom, a teacher and a learner. And now, here we are again, in the same virtual room, a lecturer and a recipient. Life is so rich that it allows and perhaps even conspires to make such exchanges possible and deeply meaningful. For that, I am very grateful. Today, Dr. Hady will present a talk titled Mastering AI in Teaching and Learning, Hands-on Exploration. As educators navigating and evolving digital landscape, I believe we'll all benefit from the insights and tools he will share. I'd also like to thank Dr. Dina for moderating this session. Let's enjoy an enriching evening together. Hady, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much for the warm welcome. Since this is a session on AI, then let us start quickly with AI and hear this message from AI in which my AI avatar thanks Dr. Dina and Dr. Hamdan for their warm welcome. So let's see together.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dina, for the warm introduction and your kind words. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to the President of Apatow, Professor Jihad Hamdan for making this event and many others possible. Many thanks also go to everyone attending today. I hope this session will be both informative and inspiring, and that it will spark meaningful discussions and new ideas for all of us.
Well, as you can see, this is an avatar, an AI avatar, and it is generated with just one image. I simply added that image, and then I provided the image with the audio recording, and I asked, of course, the AI tool to lip sync and then to move hands and use body language. And inshallah, today we will be talking about some useful tools that we can use for teaching and for learning. Now, before we officially start, let me show you this Word document and ask you a simple question once it loads. If you look here with me, you can see that in this Word document we have about, let me scroll down so that you can see the pages. We have about 11 pages full of details and full of applications that we can use, or AI applications that we can use in teaching and learning. Now, if I want to create a PowerPoint presentation by talking about each application and showing a relevant image related to each application, how much time do you think it will take me to create that presentation? In which I have, of course, a PowerPoint presentation in which I would like tackle each app and talk about it.
Maybe an hour.
Maybe, yes. It
Yeah.
takes a lot of time, of course, to have a proper image or a relevant image related to each app, and then to have details.
Yeah.
But in my case, and because I wanted to use AI for educational purposes, I wanted you to see with me how it can, of course, save us time if we use it the right way and if we personalize it, of course, to fit the audience and the setting that we have. And look, this is it. I didn't want it to be in the form of a PowerPoint. I wanted it to be a PDF for you to see with me how many pages we have with details, descriptions of each app, how it is used, when it is used, and what it offers. And this was done in less than 5 minutes. It took me less than 5 minutes to prepare this. So in our talk today, I want to walk you through apps that can enable you to do the same thing, of course. We will be talking about PowerPoint alternatives, applications that we can use instead of PowerPoint. Also, we will be talking about Notebook LM. This is technology that is rich and that can enable us to perform magical things. I'll show you what we can do with this by simply attaching a PDF. We can have a podcast, a conversation between two people tackling the topic that we have in the PDF. And then we can share this with our students and, of course, let them interact and engage more. Also, in the presentation today, I want to talk about applications that we can use for lesson plans, assessment, and engaging activities. This is useful for, of course, anyone who is in the field of teaching. After that, we will talk about photo generation or image generation, how we can generate an image for free, and how we can later edit an image, because sometimes we could have problems with the images that we generate, especially with texts and logos. ChatGPT might replace the text with something else, or it might change the logo that we have and use another one. And I'll show you a trick to overcome this problem. In addition to that, we will talk about some useful tools for those who are interested in research. and those who are interested in translation. Additionally, we will talk about unfamiliar, useful chatbots, not just ChatGPT, but we have other unfamiliar, maybe less popular chatbots, but they can do magical things. And finally, I have here a tool that I want to talk about, Seeing AI, and this tool is very useful for visually impaired students as it enables them or as it provides aid for them. It describes their surroundings. It can read for them texts by simply pointing at a certain angle. The smartphone can tell them everything that appears in that angle. And this is very useful for us, for our students in their classrooms, so that they can see and know what happens around them without the need for anyone else to tell them that or share with them that. So let's start now with PowerPoint alternatives. We have several alternatives for PowerPoint. One of them is Slides Go, another one is Google Slides, and a third one is Gamma. Due to time limitations, I want to talk about only two of them, Gamma and Google Slides. I'll start with Gamma first. And here I have a video that I prepared earlier, and I'll play it and walk you through what happens inside or in this video. So simply put, when you go to gamma.app/create, you get this screen where you can do several things for free. It's not paid, but you can, of course, have a plan that is paid and get more benefits. But with this screen that I hope you can see with me, we can, for example, paste in a text. If we have a text already that we prepared, we can paste it here, and then Gamma can use this text to create for us a PowerPoint slideshow. We can have it as a PowerPoint, we can have it as a PDF, we can, of course, have it as a Google slide, we can have it in different forms. If we don't have a text, and this is what I do here, sometimes you may not have a text already, but you have an idea in mind, you have a prompt in mind, and you want this tool to use this idea and to build for you a presentation that, of course, you can work on to modify and to personalize. And this is the most important thing. We don't just want to rely on AI to prepare everything for us. If I'm teaching Jordanian students, I need to make sure that the content that I have is tailored, or that it fits, or that it suits Jordanian students. So maybe the images that we have may not be appropriate. I can change them. Maybe the examples that are generated are not suitable. I can modify them, of course. And here I have to stress and reiterate that we as educators have a responsibility to be involved in this process and not just to be in the back seat and let the AI drive and take full control. Another thing you can do is you can import, of course, a file or a URL. If you have a file already, you can share it here, and then the tool can use it to generate PowerPoint presentations. All right. As I mentioned before, I wanted to generate a PowerPoint slideshow from a prompt. So in my case, the prompt was create a presentation on the use of the simple present for university students. Or for university level students. This is the prompt. And then you click generate. It will generate for you an outline with the themes for the slides that you will have. You check it, and if you are pleased with it, you proceed. If you're not pleased, you can change, for example, the number of cards here. Instead of 8, you can increase. You can change the content itself. But because this is for educational purposes, I didn't want to change anything. I wanted it to be quick and to show you how it works. So you press on generate, and in less than a minute, as I told you, it will generate for you a presentation. At this stage, it shows you the script or the text, but then in another minute or after another minute, it will add, of course, images, relevant images to this presentation. If you are pleased with the images, you keep them. If they're not appropriate, you click on them and you change them. Because as I mentioned before, you have to make sure that you have your input and that you have your fingerprints and that you're involved. And there you go, of course. Quick and professional. And if I scroll down, you have several slides with relevant images. Okay, so it's a useful tool, as I mentioned, and it is free. Now, the other tool that I like is Google Slides. What I really like about this tool, although it doesn't do the things that Gamma would do, for example, it doesn't generate for you a presentation from scratch. Here, you have to be more involved. But what I liked, or what I really like about this tool, is that, for example, on the same PowerPoint, or while you are working on the same PowerPoint, you can share the link with a friend who is far away, maybe in another country, actually, and you can edit and work on the same PowerPoint at the same exact moment. So you can discuss and edit the same PowerPoint. Something else that I really like is adding videos and images. One problem that my students often face when they want to add a video to a PowerPoint, or not just my students, presenters in general, they might face this problem. They have a PowerPoint presentation, they want to add a video to aid it, of course, or to have a visual aid. But the problem is when they add the PowerPoint and then they move or add it to the PowerPoint and they, let's say, move to another device or be forced to use another device for one reason or another, the video does not work. But with this tool, Google Slides, this will never happen. No matter what, or no matter what device that you have, you can, of course, rely on it, add a video, and the file that you have will work in any device without any problems. And here's just an example. Of course, I didn't generate the whole presentation. The goal was just to show you the feature and how the video would work, but it's a user-friendly tool. You can adjust the titles easily. You can add images. You can change the format. You can change the structure. And this can be done at an ease without any difficulty. But let me show you real quick how the video will work by just a simple click.
يعطيكم العافية جميعا، وإن شاء الله أن ورشتنا اليوم راح تكون مفيدة وثرية بالمعلومات اللي راح تساعدنا نتقن استخدام الذكاء الاصطناعي ونوظفه بأفضل شكل ممكن في التعلم والتعليم.
See, it's a very simple tool and it's also very useful. As I mentioned, you can do so many things, even generating an image, for example. Here, if I move with the video that I prepared, you can see that I can generate an image easily. I would click on generate an image. Then it will take me to a box where I can add a prompt. In my case, this is the prompt that I added. An AI teacher in a classroom with students. And then I clicked create. And as you can see with me, it starts loading thinking, creating, and then in few seconds, you have the image that you want. And it is generated. You can add it to the slides. You can modify it. You can change the prompt. You can do so many things, of course. And you can animate it if you want. And this, as I mentioned, is a very useful tool that we can rely on when we want to create the next presentation that we have. Now that I talked about two, of course, of the alternatives of PowerPoint, let me move on to talk about Notebook LM. And before I show you what you can do with it, let me share with you this PDF. It is from ebook. It's a chapter, actually. And the book is on linguistics. And this chapter is talking about word formation. If I scroll down, you can see with me that this PDF is not editable. That is, you can't edit the text. You can't copy it. You can't do anything with it. And it talks about so many things. Also talks about word formation processes, if I scroll down, and it has examples related to them. Blending, clipping, etc. Now, maybe I want my students to have an idea or to have a clue about this before I actually meet them in person. What I can do, I can, of course, through Notebook LM, I can prepare for them a podcast. I can share with them a link for a notebook that they can depend on and that can be very useful for them to ask questions about the topic itself. Here is an example. I uploaded the file. In my case, the file is the one about word formation. It took a few seconds to load. And then after that, here's the magical part. I have details about it. I have a summary about this. And it tells me what this chapter talks about. Not only that, of course, I can start asking questions about this. I can create a mind map if you want. But what I really wanted to show you here, and because once again, if I want to talk about all the features, I may need hours, not just 30 minutes. I wanted to show you how we can generate a podcast by simply attaching a PDF. Of course, it takes around maybe 2 to 3 minutes, so I'm not going to wait for 2 and 3 minutes. I'm going to move until the audio is done. And here is the audio. It took around 2 to 3 minutes to generate it. Look at the duration of this audio. It is for 13 minutes, a 13-minute talk. And now I'll play a part from it so that you can see how realistic it feels or how realistic it sounds. When you listen to it, you feel that it's real or that these people are actually real people or experts talking about word formation.
Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to plunge into a stack of sources and really pull out the most fascinating bits of knowledge.
That's the plan.
And today, our mission is, well, it's about words. How new words actually enter our language. We're looking closely at sources on word formation.
It's a surprisingly dynamic area.
It really is. You know how sometimes language just gets weird? Like, my phone sometimes changes Guten Nacht, that's German, good night, to cute nachos. Seriously.
Cute nachos. I like it.
Or like adverbial might become adverbial. It sounds funny, but understanding how words are actually put together, the formation stuff, it helps make sense of why communication sometimes goes, well, sideways.
It absolutely does. And the thing is,
But we can't see the video.
Yeah?
We can't see the video.
You can't see the video.
Yes.
Let me share it again.
Yeah, we can't. It's just people talking.
Yeah, you can't see the video here when it comes to this. It is a podcast. It
Yeah.
is an audio version only.
Just audio. I see.
This is
Yeah,
just an audio. However,
yeah,
if you want to see the video, there is another tool that we can use that does the same exact thing.
yeah.
It
Exactly.
would have two people talking, and you would have a podcast, and that tool is called Hey Gen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I see it.
that tool, HeyGen, but that tool is paid actually. HeyGen, simply you attach a PDF, just like what we did here. You attach a PDF, and then you can determine and decide who is in the video. You can have your own AI avatar, just like the one that I created for myself in the video, or you can select and choose from the list of avatars that they already have. They have maybe more than 1,000 male and female real avatars. So you can choose from them any two persons and let them have that conversation. And then you can, of course, feel more maybe engaged or more involved when you see people talking, not just when you are listening. But the good thing about this tool that we have here, the audio version, is you can send it on Teams, you can send it on any other app, and it's small in size. When it is a video, sometimes the video could be too large, and then that would cause a problem for us because we need to find another tool to resize the video and then share it. But when it is an audio, you don't have to worry about that. The size of the video will be, the size of the audio will be small, and you can share it quickly with your students. And this will, of course, enable them to have a clue. They can listen to it while on the bus. They can listen to it while they are with their friends, maybe having a break, or they can listen to it anywhere or at any time. That's a useful tool, I believe, and we may be able to use it for the best of our students. Next, I want to talk about tools that we can also use as educators or as teachers to help us with lesson plans, maybe to help us with activities, questions, feedback, assessment, all of these things. We may sometimes need a person to talk to about what we're doing. We may have that person, but sometimes we may not have that person. So we can rely on AI or ask AI to help us with this. And the tool is, well, the first tool is Magic School. I have the same PDF that I shared with you earlier, the one about word formation. I can simply go to the tool here, and then I have a lot of options to choose from. A rubric generator to generate a rubric, writing feedback, text-dependent questions, and this is what I have here. AI-resistant assignments. If you want to have an assignment that AI will not be able to help your students with, you can, of course, seek the help of Magic School and AI-resistant assignments. Let me show you real quick what I did with, of course, text-dependent questions on the PDF. You upload the file that you have, and you determine the number of questions, 3 questions, 5, 7, 10. You can decide how many questions you have. You tell the tool the types of questions, comprehension, مثلا multiple choice, fill in blanks, true or false. You tell the tool what types of questions you have. And then after you do that, you upload the file, and then, of course, here we have it in this video. You will see with me the questions that are generated. So we have comprehension questions. And we have multiple choice questions. We have true or false. We have essay questions. Analyze the processes of word formation discussed in the text. Choose two examples provided and explain how they illustrate the dynamic nature of language development. It helps you actually with coming up with questions that you can have as activities with your students. When it comes to AI resistant, you might have a simple idea in mind for an assignment. For example, you want your students to write a paragraph about the advantages of using smartphones. But this assignment can easily be answered by AI. So you don't want your students to resort to AI. You go to Magic School, you tell the tool your assignment, and then it will generate for you another assignment based on it, but one that is difficult for AI to work on. Like this one. Create a multimedia presentation that explores the advantages of using smartphones, including interviews with university students, and analyze how these advantages might differ across various academic disciplines. Now, this is difficult for AI because here a student needs to have a video, a proof that he or she actually conducted the interview. But if you just tell them, write a paragraph about smartphones or write about the advantages of smartphones, they can go to ChatGPT or to any other tool, and simply that tool will do everything for them. But we don't want that to happen with our students. So as I mentioned before, you need somebody to talk to think with you about what you are doing. If you don't have that person, then AI can be useful and it can help you with this. Dr. Dean, I don't know how much time I have left.
Um, you have time. You can go ahead. I mean, it's really interesting. So, to be honest, I've lost track of time. So, just go on ahead.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Well, you can also, of course, have the tool provide good examples, bad examples. For instance, if you want to teach your students writing, and if you want to teach them topic sentences, then you can, by using this tool, you can write a prompt, a topic sentence, and then the tool will provide a good topic sentence and a bad topic sentence and explain why the good one is actually good and what is wrong with the bad one so as to be labeled as bad. And notice I didn't do a lot of things. I only asked for a topic sentence, or I only wrote in the prompt a topic sentence. But once I click here, you will get to see with me that we have a good example here of a topic sentence with an explanation for why it is good. And then we have a weak topic sentence. And also we have details here, or we have an explanation for why this may not be an ideal topic sentence. Now you can edit this, you can change it, you can modify it, you can do a lot of things with it. You can also ask the tool to read it aloud for you, and it saves you time and effort. I'm not saying that you have to depend on this 100%. I'm saying it aids the teaching process, but you have to be involved, as I mentioned several times before. Another tool that can be useful is AudioPen. Maybe while sitting at home, you want to brainstorm and say your ideas aloud, but your ideas are not organized. What this tool can do with your ideas, it can organize your ideas and save them as an audio file. And here I have an example. I tried my best not to be so organized while speaking, and then the tool managed to get and understand what I said, and then it generated a script and audio based on it that is, of course, organized. But here I want you to see with me the script itself. So I enabled the mic and then I started speaking. I tried my best not to be organized, though it's not easy for educators, but I tried.
To write a paragraph, we need to have a number of steps.
I tried to add also like fillers to stop, have pauses, and see what this tool can do with these fillers or pauses.
Title. Title is one of the things that we need to have. We need to make sure that we have an appropriate title that gives a clue or an idea about the paragraph that we have. Something else maybe we could have is what we call.
Notice I'm trying to make my ideas longer. Something else maybe, which we have is called, and I wanted to see what the tool will do with this.
The topic sentence. A paragraph needs to have a topic sentence which guides the read.
And now let me show you once you are done what you have to do. Of course, AudioPen is free. You don't have to pay anything to use it. You upload the recording, it starts processing. It doesn't take a lot of time to process it, and then it rewrites everything that you have. فعندنا هنا to write a paragraph we need to follow a few steps. First we need a title. The title should give an idea about what the paragraph is about. Next we need a topic sentence. It is organized. It doesn't have all the fillers that I already had in my speech. Of course, I can append this to a note. I can change this into an image. I can do lots of things with it. But because of time, I'm not going to be able to show you everything, but I'm being selective. EduAid is another tool that we can use for lesson plans and for activities, and you can decide actually how the lesson plan is student-centered, for example, or you can decide the methods of teaching that you want. And here I just want to show you an example of how it helps with making students engaged. We have planning, we have presenting, we have practice, we have group activities, we have questions, assessments, feedback, and other features. When it comes to planning, I can ask the tool to come up with engagement activities. I can ask the tool to come up with a lesson seed, brainstorm lesson ideas with objectives, direct instruction, practice, and team activities. I can ask the tool to do anything that I want. In my case, because of time, I just want you to see with me what I write here and how I ask the tool to enhance it, and then how it generates activities for me. So here I have something very simple. I want to teach my students speech acts. This is what I wrote. And then I ask the tool to enhance this so as to provide a better maybe prompt, one that is more professional. And we have here a more professional prompt. Students will analyze and evaluate various speech acts within different contexts to demonstrate the understanding of how language functions in communication. And now that I have a better prompt, I ask the tool to generate activities, engagement activities, to help my students deal with speech acts. And it doesn't take a lot of time. You have so many suggestions for activities, like speech act matchup, for example. Provide students with scenarios and corresponding speech acts, request, promise, apology, and then students will quickly match each scenario with the appropriate speech act. And it tells me the goal behind this activity. If not, or if I'm not happy with the first one, I can move to the second one. If I'm not happy with this, I proceed, and so on, until I find an activity that might be more interesting, or an activity that fits or that suits my goals. We have here questions with would you rather? And then below we have deep questions. And we have applied scenario-based question. You might ask them to imagine. Imagine you are in a group project where one member of course, dominates the conversation, doesn't allow anyone else to talk, making it difficult for others to contribute. How would you address this using different speech acts? And then here, of course, students will have to find their way to use speech acts, and you get your students to be involved, to have fun, and to enjoy what they are doing. Of course, there are many other things that you can do. I'm not going to play everything else. You can add errors and see if your students will be able to identify them. You can ask the tool to help you with ideas for slideshow, what to add at the beginning, what to add in the middle, what to add as a hook, statement, and so on. A very useful tool. Now that I talked about lesson planning, something we may need to do while planning our lessons is to generate an image. We might want to generate an image because sometimes the images we see might not be appropriate for us, the ones that we find online. So we may want to generate our own images. We have so many tools available, but I wanted to discuss free tools. We have Perplexity and we have Seedream, and both tools are free. All you have to do is to go to the tool seedream.pro. You write the prompt. I have already written the prompt. Generate an image of a student watching TV while being on a sofa, but the Batman character in the TV extends the hands out of the screen to catch him physically. And then you click, and it doesn't take a long time after you click for the image to be generated for free. And there you have it. Of course, Perplexity would add a more professional picture, or will generate a more professional picture. I have the same prompt again for Perplexity, but Perplexity will take longer time to process. So if I skip this, then you would have the image. These are very useful if you are preparing a slideshow. You can have your own input, you can have your own images, you can have images based on your own ideas, not images that are available online or images that are prepared by someone else. This takes me to editing a picture. Sometimes you might go to ChatGPT. I went to ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT to generate an image of a student walking, or talking, sorry, in front of a podium. And I wanted to have the logo of the University of Jordan and the name, the University of Jordan, in English and in Arabic. But here's what I got. Who's familiar with the logo of the University of Jordan here? Is this the logo of the University of Jordan?
No,
Absolutely not, طبعا.
absolutely not. No.
I was not pleased with this. I don't want this logo. I want the logo that belongs to the University of Jordan. We have simple tools that we can resort to. First, of course, I need to go to Google and see the actual logo of the university. And here's the logo of the University of Jordan. Then I can go to a tool that is also for free. And this tool is called Cut Paste Photos. And all I have to do is to open the logo picture that I want. And then, of course, I can, with this pen, like select the logo that I want. And then I have below, of course, cut. I would cut it. And then after I cut it, I would go to the other screen where I would upload the other picture that I want to add the logo to it. And simply I would resize the logo and fit it here. And now I have the logo. Of course, it needs more time to be professional, but I did it in like 1 minute just to show you how it can be done. Now you might tell me,
Dr. Hadi,
yeah.
sorry to interrupt. I think you've been speaking for about 40 minutes. So maybe another 5 minutes. You
All
can,
right.
yeah, would that be
Yeah,
okay?
let me then finalize this.
Great.
For example, Al-Jamia Al-Urdaniya here, it is written in a way that is inaccurate. This might be embarrassing, actually. If you add this to your slideshow, someone might tell you, you don't know how to spell Al-Jamia Al-Urduniyya. That is really embarrassing. I don't want that to happen to me. What I can do, I can go to another tool here, Pickwish, also for free. And then I can remove those objects that I don't want. And here we have remove an object. I go here and I select the part that I want to remove, the parts that I want to remove, and I start removing them one by one. Also, Jamia Al-Urduniyya, because it's not written the right way, I would also remove it. And once I am done, I would get to have a picture without, of course, all of this, or without the text. I hope you know this tool is also useful. This is the final product. طبعا I can improve it more. I can remove this here, and I can remove the black line here, but I wanted to do it real quick. But this is the final product. With more time, you can fix it, and you can add the text in Arabic if you want with another tool. I don't want to take more time.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Dr. Dina, for moderating this. And I hope that what I explained so far was new and was useful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you remove the
Yeah, I'll stop sharing.
yeah, stop sharing. Okay, we're gonna give the floor to our audience and see if anyone has any questions, comments, suggestions.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hady, for this illuminating presentation. It's actually very insightful and illuminating. And I think you have told us at the beginning that you are going to tell us يعني some tips about research tools. If you just كده pinpoint some of the research tools that can help us through AI, I'd be grateful.
Yes, that's a very important question. If I may, Dr. Dina, just share the screen
Yeah, of
again
course. Yeah.
and show you real quick this tool that we can use for free also, and it's good for research. It is called Elicit AI, and we have other tools. But real quick, what you can do with this tool, in my case, I'm interested, let's say, in speech acts and in disagreement strategies. I might go to this tool, find me research papers on disagreement strategies, let's say about Jordanians or in Jordan, and I write the prompt that I have. I click on search, and in a minute, it shall generate for me, without looking for these sources elsewhere. It will generate for me actual, authentic, credible, real sources that studied this agreement realization in our realizations in Arabic and in Jordan. And it would show you the researchers, their names. You can also see a summary about this. You can see the whole article if you want. We can have an abstract summary. You can ask questions to the tool about these articles. If you want to know the main findings, مثلا, instead of reading the whole article, before reading the whole article, you can click on the right, as you can see with me, on main findings, and it would show you each study and the main findings that you have. For this will help you to save time. You can see the findings before you actually read the study. And then this will help you to know whether this study is useful for you or not. You can decide from the right hand the summary. You can decide the methodology. That is, you want to know about the methodology. You want to know about the summary or about the findings or about the literature review. And it would generate this for you in a second so that you will know what the article talks about or what the article highlights.
What is
Thank you very much.
what is this website called? One more time?
Elicit
Illicit.
AI.
Yeah. AI. Okay, we have a question from Isra, Dr. Isra. She has her hand raised.
Thank you, Dr. Hamdan, for such a clear and insightful presentation. My question is, how can AI be integrated into university teaching to enhance critical thinking without reducing the important role of a human mentorship?
Yes, that's a very important question. And once again, this brings us to the need for teachers to be involved when they use these AI tools. In my case, for example, once I wanted to teach my students the word subtle. And we know that when we talk about subtle differences, these are differences that are not easy to identify. So I thought, how can I teach them this big word, subtle, in a way that they will never forget? And after thinking, I went to AI and I generated two images of myself, like a twin, and they're sitting or they're actually next to each other with small or subtle differences between them. And then I asked my students, what differences do we have? They looked at the images and said, they look so much alike. They are two identical pictures of you. Are they real? I told them, no, actually, both of them are not real. And then after looking at them for a longer time, they started to discover some subtle differences, like the nose maybe, or the eyebrows could be a small difference. And then through working on their own and by using AI to be the platform for them to see the twin, they were able to identify the differences and then they were able to understand the word subtle. And I don't think they will ever forget this word.
Okay.
No answer is clearer than this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Isra. We have Omar. He has his hand raised. Go ahead, Omar.
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much, Dr. Hady. It was so useful meeting. And I'm interested in translation. Could you please provide us like an AI use tools that can I use to improve my translation skills? And thank you so much.
Absolutely, I can. There are many tools, but one tool that I can talk about, and once again, Dr. Dina, I will share my screen to show,
Right ahead.
to show everybody this tool. It's this tool that we have here. I love it for a simple reason. It helps me with style. We all might have a text that we want to generate or translate. Of course, AI might provide maybe a 95 or 99% accurate translation in terms of language, but maybe with cultural specific things, it may not be able to handle that. So we need to be checking the output that we have. But one problem that we might have with translation when we use AI, other than the accuracy of the details, is the style itself. Look here at this document with me. And you can see this document has a specific style. And when I want to translate this, if I want to do it manually, it will take me a lot of time to like create this multiple choice test. Also, it's time consuming and it's difficult or not easy to handle with any random AI. So I need a reliable AI tool. Two tools that stand out or that are known or that are used nowadays are, of course, ChatGPT, and we have here DeepL, and we have the tool that I have here, MateCat. What's the difference between them and why I prefer MateCat instead? Let me show you. If after uploading the file, you go to, let's say, ChatGPT and you ask ChatGPT to translate it, it will translate it and it will actually perform well. But one problem with ChatGPT, once it starts translating, is this. I don't know if you can feel with me or see or realize or recognize or identify the problem. The problem is in the style. If you want to copy it as is, it will take you a lot of time actually to adjust and change the format and the style. But what MateCat here can do for you, it can perform well also and translate, but it will try as much as possible to maintain the same format. Let me show you an example of the translation by, of course, MateCat and the translation by ChatGPT. So, as I mentioned, this is the translation by ChatGPT. It's not following the same format. It may ask me if I want a Word document, and then it may say, ChatGPT, yani, it may say that it will try to maintain the same format. But unfortunately, even if it says that, no, the format that we will have will not be the same. Look, it will load in a minute, and then you will be able to see with me. Here's the format by ChatGPT. تقييم المعرفة قبل وبعد الدورة TDC مصر. بس notice we have these bullets and we have a totally different format. If you want to edit this and work on this and try to change the format, it might take you longer time than you would spend translating. But what MateCat can do, it can try to some extent to provide you with a version that replicates or that closely resembles the original one. And here is the version for you to see. طبعا ممكن يكون في أخطاء. We could have one item that is not translated well, but you can translate it. Look here, we have A, B, C, D, مش bullets. And we have the image that was there in the original. It is maintained here. The title on top is translated. In general, it was able to provide a format that closely resembles the original one. Well, I hope that this answers the question. There are other tools, but due to time limitations, I can only discuss this.
Wow, it was so wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Omar. We have two people with their hands raised. We have Muhammad, and then we have Sumaya, Dr. Sumaya, I assume. Yeah, so let's go for Dr. Sumaya. If you'd like to ask your question first, you can go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for the presentation. I just attended towards the last part. And since you're talking about MateCat and these tools that we use for translation, I have for a long time had this question, and I couldn't find a response to this question or an answer to this question yet.
Yes.
I had colleagues from the Department of Arabic who wanted to collaborate with me on a research paper. Their contribution would be in Arabic, and my contribution would be in English. So eventually, we will need to translate their contribution. And I wanted to use MateCat. I've been using this tool for a long time. But until now, I'm not sure whether the text that will be generated using MateCat or even ChatGPT will be detected by Turnitin or Authenticate as AI-generated text. As you know, the text will be in Arabic and the ideas are original, but we want to translate it using these tools. Why shall I do it manually if AI can do it even better than mine, like my translation? I wanted to ask you this question, or Dr. Dina, if you have been in this situation before.
Really? No, I haven't.
If you have used Turnitin, even better is Authenticate that can identify AI-generated text.
It couldn't identify it. This is the first thing. But even if it can identify it, we have other like tools that can help us with making it more, let's say, human-like. This is in case it's not already human-like. But if it is a human-like and we don't want any tools, Maybe it has to do with the file itself. If you copy it as is, sometimes there could be traces, but if you change the file, let's say to a notepad or to another application, not Word, these traces, just like syntactic traces, I believe may not be vivid there. But this is my own yani experience. Maybe others tried it and it didn't work for them, but I tried it and it worked.
I tried Turnitin and it couldn't detect it, but editors-in-chief of journals, they have Authenticate, which is more powerful and it's more comprehensive. And it can detect even like things that you may not guess that it could tell, like it's AI
True.
generated to some extent. So I just wanted to check like if you had any experience with Authenticate. Thank you anyway.
Yeah, I
It's worth
didn't have.
trying using Notepad, so I can copy and paste it on Notepad and then
Yes.
copy and paste it from Notepad to Word, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
most.
Thank you, Dr. Sumaya. We have Muhammad, and then we have Dr. Suzanne. Muhammad, if you can ask your question real quick, and then we will give the floor to Dr. Suzanne, if possible.
Yes, hello, Dr. Hady and Dina. Thank you for this presentation or this meeting. It was very informative. My question is like that. Now, we are aware that ChatGPT is free for somehow, but it has limits. So it has, for example, 1 hour, 2 hours, then it will tell you that you need to upgrade this application. So the tools that you have guided us for them, are there have limits? Or they are completely free without limits?
They are completely free and they are more relevant. Yani, I just want real quick also to show you an example if I can, real quick, what you can do with these tools. For example, we have here a tool that is called, let me click on it so that you can see with me. Fellow AI, and this tool can do things that even ChatGPT won't be able to do, although it is for free. You can play a video from YouTube, like this video, for example. I'll play it real quick.
Blank story every night. Read or reads or is reading. The keyword in this question is every. When you see every, you talk, always do this. You do a verb, leave, think, run.
Okay, I don't want you to see the whole video, but this is a short on YouTube and it talks about distance and it provides examples. Now, if you ask ChatGPT to summarize what is happening here, it won't be able to do that, and it may tell you I can't access links. But this tool that I have here, well, I'll say its name, and it is for free. It can do this for you without even paying anything. You can paste the link of the YouTube video, and then you can generate. And of course, you'd have an exact description of what is happening in the video. Context of the sentence, discusses a sentence, he blank a story every night. The options provided are read, reads, or is reading. The key word in question is every, etc. It is free and it is available, or you can use it, Muhammad, without يعني limits. You have also Fanar, and it is an Arabic, or the one that writes in Arabic. It is an Arab or designed by Arab, of course, specialists, and it is a chatbot that deals with Arabic and that understands Arabic and English and other languages. And it is completely free, and it can generate for you images. It can summarize for you things, and you can do different things. And you don't need to worry about credit or limits. And I hope that I managed to answer also your question.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hady.
Okay, thank you, Muhammad. Dr. Suzanne, تفضلي.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Diman. Thank you so much, everybody. I was a little bit late today. Apologies, but I would very much like to comment on Dr. Sumaya's question. I had some experience with some programs, with Turnitin and Authenticate when it comes to translations on ChatGPT. What I know, and of course, things are changing on a daily basis, but what I know is that there are codes inside the ChatGPT generated texts. So if we translate, for example, anything on ChatGPT and then copy and paste it into a Word document, we copy and paste these codes with the text. So these codes can be detected by Turnitin or Authenticate or any other plagiarism detection software which is in the market. And of course, publication houses have their own. So whenever these, programs or plagiarism identification programs detect these codes, they're going to show up as AI generated. So in order to get around this, there are some programs online. I forgot their names, but you can look them up, which remove these codes from the ChatGPT generated texts. Another way of doing it is just, since the ideas are original and everything, you just retype the text. If you can't find a program to remove these codes, or if you fear that these programs are not reliable and you nevertheless may copy some other codes, with the AI generated translation, you just retype the text. So you're going to and proofread it and copyright it before you send it to publication. So that is my take on that, because I've seen some of my students rewrite, for example, certain texts in ChatGPT, translate certain texts in ChatGPT. It showed up 80, 70%, 80%, 90% AI generated in Turnitin. So I've seen examples like these, and the students swore that this was their text, but they just used ChatGPT to help them, improve the style. So it does at times, not always, but at times it does identify these codes. And my other comment is concerning the ChatGPT time limitation. You can just log out and log in again, okay? Or not log into just use it without logging in. So when you just get out of the program and reopen it, you can use it for as many hours as you would like to. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Suzanne. You'd like to comment, Dr. Hady?
Thank you very much, Dr. Suzanne. Yeah, I agree with what you have mentioned, Dr. Suzanne. And they can use, of course, tools like Paraphraser or Quillbot, which can help in changing the text or to humanize the text a little bit so that it would resemble the language of human beings a bit more. Also, you can admit this when you send like your research to a journal, because now a lot of journals, they have that option where they ask, of course, researchers if they have used AI. And you can say that we have used AI for proofreading, for example. And I think it's now accepted. A lot of journals now accept this, since, or if you can actually defend your argument that it's just simply proofreading, not to have the whole content generated by AI.
I think Quillbot, I've used the humanization in Quillbot and other programs, and specifically Quillbot is quite weak. When you humanize using Quillbot, it's going to mess up the meaning, mess up sentences, substitute words with words which does not make sense in the context. So personally speaking, for us academics, I think Quillbot is not doing a good job yet. And even other humanizing programs or features in these AI bots, I think are not reliable. I mean, the thing is that the whole market is being upgraded day by day. So what cannot be detected today will be detected tomorrow. So we have to. I think we have to be very careful with this, and always proofread, edit ourselves, and
Add your
prepare
own input.
draft.
Yes.
Yes, prepare a draft which is basically ours. I mean, this is my take on it. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. Yeah.
I agree. Paraphrase on your own, add synonyms, change the structure, the tense, the types of sentences. Yeah, we have to, of course, work on this if we want to have a final product that is smoother to read, actually.
Okay, we have three hands raised up. Ru'a, can you? Ru'a Isam.
Oh, yes.
Hi.
Thank you, Dr. Hadi, for this useful workshop. I want to ask you about the tools, Google Slides and Cdream. Do they support other language like Spanish, French?
But to be honest, I didn't try them with other languages, but I think these tools in general, they are not meant to target English only. They are there for everybody to use. So I think, but we can test this. They might have other options that we can have for other languages.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Hadi.
Okay. Dr. Ayman. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. Dr. Hadi, thank you very much for this very informative presentation. As you have demonstrated, AI tools are really great and they're a great asset in assisting teachers. But from a student perspective, they raise important ethical questions, obviously. And I wonder, do you have any insights about how we as teachers can limit the potential over-reliance on technology on the part of students?
That's a very important question. One thing that I usually do when it comes to AI and even like the feedback and what students get, I try to make it more personal or personalize it so that even if they rely on it, it will be useful, not harmful. And by this, I mean, or to make this clearer or to illustrate this, I would like to use ChatGPT again, the tool that we have been talking about, but show how we can control it a bit more when it comes to feedback, for example, that we give to our students. So let me just show you this in a minute. Here. For example, if we just want our students to rely on ChatGPT or on other tools, they will over-rely on it and they will not benefit from it. It will distract them more than be of an aid to them. I teach academic writing, and sometimes I see my students go to ChatGPT for feedback, and then they return with the feedback that they have received, and it's not relevant to what we are doing, and it's not useful. I do want them to return to ChatGPT, and I want them to rely on it, not over-rely on it, but I want them to rely on it when it is catered to their needs. So here is an example of how to do that. We have a paragraph, apparently, but it has so many problems. We have a title, Advantage of Mobile Phones. We have first, save you time and effort. Next, they helps you in your studies. Finally, they good for socialization. Students would generally copy this and then they would go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to provide feedback. And ChatGPT would provide feedback, but the problem with this feedback is it's too general and it doesn't help them improve. What I like to do instead, I like to design a prompt for my students and share this prompt. And the prompt will be based on what we have been studying. That is what we have been covering in this course. So I would write for them a prompt like this one, a very detailed prompt that they can rely on and it will be useful. Here, we talk about all the things that we've been covering so far in this course. It's not just provide me with feedback. It's about titles, for example. It's about the hook. It is about ideas. It is about structure. It is about tenses. It's about prepositions. It's about everything that we've been covering. And then once I'm done with this prompt that I share with my students, I ask them to copy this prompt and, of course, add their paragraph below it. Then the feedback that they will receive, even if they rely on it, they will rely on something that is useful, I believe, something that will add to their knowledge, something that will help them to learn so that in the future, maybe they can minimize reliance on ChatGPT because they will know their weaknesses and they will know how to work on these weaknesses. Even in terms of vocabulary, they will learn new vocabulary that they can apply them and they can use them. So I try to control it more by controlling the prompts that I share with my students. But having a full control, as we really want, where we minimize reliance on AI, I think it's difficult nowadays.
This is still a struggle, yes. But thank you very much for this very useful presentation. Thank you, Dr. Hady.
Thank you.
We have, I think we have Dr. Jihad. He had his hand raised. I don't know if it's still raised or not.
Yes.
Yeah, go
ahead. Thank you very much, Hady, for this very insightful presentation, very useful. We belong to two generations, yes, and I have really learned from this presentation. I learned not just as an instructor, but also as an editor-in-chief, because Sumaya and Suzanne have raised issues that relate to publishing in journals and editors and their roles and so on and so forth. I want to say that a translation into English of something original is not a problem for journalists. It can, just like what Hady has mentioned, you can confess it. You can say that we are a group of researchers speaking different languages, but we want to publish in English. So part of the input in other languages was translated into English with the help of AI. I mean, this is easy and straightforward. Now, just kidding maybe to Sumaya, since Sumaya raised the issue first, is Sumaya look for an AI illiterate journal where people there do not know something really serious about AI and its roles. And this is there, by the way, in journals of journals in Q1 and Q2, yes, they don't care much about it. But I know that you don't want this option. But the thing is, if journals use Turnitin, I mean, Turnitin is great for similar index. Yani that is for plagiarism mainly, but not for AI generation. AI generation is still there an issue for editors-in-chief of top journals. We have been engaged in discussions for a long time, actually, trying to set a percentage for AI generation of texts that is acceptable. We have not reached something that is conclusive and worthwhile. But in general, something around 40 up to 50 is possible. 40 to 50% is fine.
Great.
Yes. But if it is 90%, definitely it's not acceptable. Nobody will buy it. Susan has talked about codes. I mean, if journals have been able to find devices that can identify codes, the war is still there. There are devices that can remove AI codes from texts. And we as editors-in-chief, we are aware of this, of course. We are aware of this. So, I mean, the issue is still there. AI cannot be avoided. Its use is there, and it's really sometimes needed. It's not just it's there. We need it because we want to save time and effort. Just think of what Hady has presented. A whole article, 30 pages, and you want just a summary of the main findings. I mean, if you want to read it, you need probably 10 hours. And then to find the main findings and summarize the main findings, etc., you need probably more time. But AI can do it in a minute, yes. Less than a minute, can review a book, can write, and by the way, it can write an article. You can just provide some input to AI and ask AI to provide, to write an article, and it's possible. So AI will live, we will live with AI, we will develop as AI develops. And if we just do something original, something worthwhile, it will pass. That is my end statement. Even if you can talk to the editor, you can talk to the editor in chief and tell him, this is original. It was originally Arabic. We turn it into English using AI. AI can do a better translation than we can do. What do you want us to do? Retranslate, be translatable? Yeah, you see, so let's limit this to plagiarism, actual, real plagiarism. Yes, here there are tools, and Turnitin is an excellent tool to identify plagiarism. Just I want to report on part of our experience. We were able to discover two manuscripts that were sent to us, submitted to our journal, International Journal of Arabic English Studies. They were published in other languages. And we identified this and we rejected them. And of course, we wrote harsh letters maybe to the authors.
Blacklisted the authors, maybe.
Yes, yes, we do, of course. We have a blacklist, yes. But I mean, I think in one of them, I just hinted that we may communicate with their president, with the president of their university or something like this. That's not good on their part to try to fool us. Yes, they were trying to fool us. That is bad. But if you produce something original and you use AI for translation, I don't think there will be a problem at all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Jihad. We are running out of time, so we have one last question. Dr. Yasser had his hand raised. It seems like he doesn't have his hand raised up anymore. Would you like to
I do
ask
have
a question
it.
very quickly?
Yes, it's just a comment. I do commend Dr. Hamdan, Hady Hamdan, for his efforts. I would like to know his thoughts about the idea of prompting. We are taking AI into a whole new horizon in terms of prompting, in terms of training AI to suit our purposes. For example, I am training an AI machine to at least have a say in terms of speech and language problems that my patient would come and talk to me about. So it's not really just a tool, it's something that you can train even as a translator, as an editor, and he'll accept your notes, take it into account, and start doing your job intelligently, but based on your training. So I wanted to know what Dr. Hady's thoughts about that. And yes, we are into a new era that we are training AI, not depending on AI. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Yasser, for this or for raising this. And I totally agree with you. We are now in a stage where we don't just rely on AI, but AI relies on us to train it. And I have experienced this firsthand with a tool in an application or on a website called Heygen, where you generate an AI avatar that you can send to Zoom, to a meeting like this, and it can take your place and answer questions on your behalf. But in order for the tool to come up with realistic answers that match your personality, here you have to go to its knowledge base from the edit settings And then you, of course, teach the tool how to respond, even when it is asked a question, how to respond politely, to respond professionally, not to respond like a machine. And you can add phrases and expressions and maybe expressions that you are known to say a lot. You can add them to the knowledge base, and eventually you will have an AI tool that speaks with your voice, that has your facial expressions, your hair, your looks, that is an identical replica of you, and that deals with everything the way you actually deal with it. So it's very important at this stage that we know how to train AI and add input to it so that eventually we will have an output that will lead to AI tools that perform in a way that is humane or in a way that is realistic and closer to human beings.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, Dr. Hadi.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Dr. Yasser, and thank you, Dr. Hadi. I'd like to end today's session by thanking all of our attendees. And I'd also like to thank Dr. Hadi for this very insightful and helpful presentation on AI. To be honest, I was aware that AI was diverse, but not this diverse. And it does seem to be a very useful it seems to be very useful in teaching, and it's very helpful for teachers. This lecture will be available on YouTube in a week or so. And I'd just like to thank our speaker and our audience one more time. Dr. Jihad, would you like to say anything before we end?
Just a few words, as usual, closing remarks. Thank you, Dr. Hadi, for such a thoughtful and timely presentation. Your insights into the practical use of AI in education have truly enriched my understanding and probably our understanding and sparked meaningful reflection. A special thank you as well to Dr. Dina Salman for guiding the session so smoothly, and to all our colleagues and guests for being part of this engaging forum. As always, Apitow is proud to bring together voices from across our academic community to share, learn, and grow together. And now I hand it back to Dr. Dina Salman to officially close the session. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to wish you a very good night. If you'd like to say anything, Dr. Hadi, you'll have the last word, and then I'll end the session.
I would just like to thank you for moderating this, and thank
pleasure.
Professor Hamdan and Apitow for making such insightful events a possibility. And I also would like to thank everyone who attended for their remarks and for their interaction. And I wish you all a lovely night.
Good night. Have a good night.